Hey guys, SunDown here. This is going to be my chapter review to My Hero Academia or Boku no Hero Academia 184, the Japanese hero billboard charts. Now, I enjoyed this chapter straight off the bat because we got to see something which actually affects heroes as part of their job outside of grievous injury or their quirks being stolen or something like that. We got to see something very real to heroes, which is the billboard charts. And additionally, we got like a minor time skip right at the beginning of the chapter, and Horikoshi just like rolls with it, even making fun of it on the first page. So on the first page, we skip straight to the end of November to where Deku is told by Aizawa that UA has won custody of Eri. They're gonna take care of Eri, and they own Eri, essentially. Eri is their property, I suppose. This is getting worse the further I take it, but essentially they've won custody of Eri. And having just said goodbye to Eri last chapter, Deku is surprised to see her so soon. Is surprised to see her so soon. Something Horikoshi was no doubt doing for the lols, I think. Also, we see Mirio, Tamaki, and Nejire just chilling with Eri, with Nejire fidgeting over Eri's hair. And I assume like she's gonna kind of step in as like the mother figure of for Eri. I can see Mirio kind of already assuming the father figure role. So Nejire would be a good mother figure. I don't think anything has to happen between Mirio and Nejire for them to assume those roles. I think that's just how they're being kind of pushed as the big three, and especially as third years taking care of Eri. So I'm not shipping Mirio or Nejire. Don't be like that. So as Suyu and Ochako pop up, Aizawa and Mirio simultaneously wave the first years over outside the room, and I don't think it was just the first years actually, because we see Tamaki outside as well. And here we learn that Eri had been abandoned by her parents, something I think we already knew, and her grandfather is still comatose, something we kind of already knew, but that's just confirming it. And so really she had nowhere else to go but UA, but there are a couple other reasons why UA has taken her. So Mirio then informs us that her quirk is emitted from her horn, and Kirishima brings up that, since her horn has shrunk, he's heard that they should be fine, only for, like, she won't be able to fully blast out her quirk because of her shrunken horn. Only for Mirio to say that it's slowly growing back again, it's slowly growing to full form. And as a result of that, UA has been given kind of double priority over her custody being the safest place for Eri in terms of if she ever does go apeshit, it's one of the very few places that could contain Eri should something go wrong. And essentially the teachers, while she's at UA, can analyze her quirk at their leisure and attempt to aid her in its control. So it's not just that they're like, if she goes apeshit, it's that the teachers will be there to aid her in her future control of the quirk should she need to, which she does need. So it's more like they're going to be able to teach her, they're going to be able to safeguard her, and they're going to be able to safeguard others by having custody of Eri. So Mirio then tells them that he is essentially Eri's companion while he's off from school, and he's off from school because he's quirkless at this point in time. And he urges his friends to visit when they have the time to come down and say hi. But then Tamaki, or Sun Eater as a lot of you will know him, he drops the dirtiest kind of teaser we've seen for a while, and the dirtiest teaser I could hope for. He says that once Eri is both physically and spiritually well and ready, Mirio will return as a hero, suggesting that her quirk can be used to rewind Mirio back to his state when he had his quirk. So I'm actually really happy to even get like a small teaser like Sunny to drop this chapter about that, because Mirio deserves his quirk. After everything he's done and after all the struggles he's been through trying to gain control of his quirk, he deserves his quirk. He's one of the few people in this anime or in this manga so far that actually truly deserves his quirk, and for him to have a hope of returning his quirk was great. I really like that part. Aizawa then instructs the third years to look after Eri, whilst Class 1A are instructed to go back to their dorms because they've had guests come in. So we go to Class 1A's dorm, where we find out that Tokiyami may have a cold. He has started to gain quite a few fans like Yao Yorozu, and he does actually have quite a few fans, something which Ochako says, actually you do have quite a few fans, don't you? And he apprenticed with Hawks, who is one of the top 3 heroes we see at the end of this chapter, so that was actually completely unexpected, and I wonder if Hawks was able to help Tokiyami gain a further insight or understanding of how his quirk works. I hope we get to see some Tokiyami development, because his quirk was really, really unique, and that whole darkness aspect was something that I thought if he gained control of that, it'd be awesome. It'd be like Naruto when he gained control of the Kyuubi and he learned its name was Kurama and stuff like that. It would be awesome to see that. So although I feel there was more to his apprenticeship, because he says it was over before he knew it, and that sounds a bit like suspicious. Like, was it cut short, or did time fly because you were enjoying yourself so much, or did he just fail? I don't think it was any of the first and the third choices. I think time just flew because he was enjoying himself with Hawks. But I'm hoping Hawks actually did teach Tokiyami a lot of stuff that we get to see. So it turns out the guests are the Wild Wild Pussycats, and they've come to visit Yue. You feel a stab of guilt when Taiga apologizes to Bakugo, because you also remember that, you know, Bakugo was actually saved in the end. This is the whole Kamino incident. But Bakugo was saved in the end, but their team member Ragdoll lost her quirk during the retrieval of Bakugo's like that arc, the Kamino arc. So you kind of feel that pang of guilt. And we see the young Kota again, who now has shoes almost identical to Deku's, having been inspired by Deku's heroism and will to save him. And I thought this was a nice touch, as these young heroes kind of deserve to see the direct impact of the direct impact they have on people's lives, in order to stay motivated to continue to be better heroes. And it turns out the reason the Pussycats are back now is to announce their comeback. And Deku asks, if Ragdoll has retrieved her quirk somehow, seeing that as that would be a primary driver for them to resume their heroic activities. And it turns out that she hasn't. She'll be doing office work from now on for the Pussycats, which is it made me feel quite bad for her. But a report from Tartarus suggested that All For One would be willing to return the quirks that he's stolen, but he'd have to activate his quirk in order to do it. And he smiles kind of like demonically as he says that. So it's something that All For One simply cannot be trusted with, especially considering where he is. If he manages to somehow throw out quirks to everyone in the facility, and they somehow manage to use one of the quirks and get out, shit could go down. So we cannot trust All For One at this point in time. We find out the reason that the Pussycats actually want to return is because the hero billboard charts rank them at 411th. Now, heroes are ranked according to three things twice a year. So the billboard charts for heroes occurs twice a year in Japan. They're ranked on three things: the number of solved incidents that they've had, their contributions to society, and their public approval ratings. So they could be really good in number of solved incidents and contributions to society, but they could just be major asshats. So their public approval ratings would never be that high. So obviously you'd think that because they dropped from rank 32 to 411, that would be their primary motivating factor for the Pussycats to come back. We're at 411, we need to get back up to 32 or higher. But it turns out that they're better than that, and they don't really care about their ranking. But they've realized that the only reason they're still in the charts is because of their approval ratings, which is because of their fans and people who have appreciated the work that they've done so far. And as a result of this, seeing how much they're appreciated by the people, they can't just stand by and not answer the calls of the people. So they're going to come back and continue to do their work. Now, everyone is thinking the same thing about the billboards, though. This is the first one without All Might since All Might's kind of reign at number one hero. So who will succeed him? That's the main kind of plot point in this billboard chart thing. So we then go to the billboard event, where we get to see a whole bunch of new heroes. At number 10 we have Ryukyu, who has dropped one rank since the last billboard ranking. Now this was surprising because she was directly involved in the fight against Chisaki, which was a pretty big deal. I thought that was going to be something that would push her further up, and considering she dropped a rank, I was like, that's a bit sad times, And I think was she involved in the whole Kamino thing as well, the fight against All For One? I can't really remember because I haven't reread Boku no Hero Academia at all yet, so I need to reread it and see if she was actually involved. But I felt kind of bad for Ryukyu. I was like, she was in the whole overhaul arc thing. She was fighting against Chisaki and all that, and she still dropped a rank, so I was like, nah, that's a bit sad. But at number 9 we have the armored hero, who actually looks really cool. He's got this blackened armor in kind of traditional samurai plating, by the looks of things, and he has a white beard kind of just falling through the faceplate of the armor, and his name is Yoroi Musha. Now he makes a comment about being outside of the top 3, while the commentator says that he's also dipped in rank, and a lot of people thought that maybe he was originally top 3 and he's dropped outside. But considering he's number 9, I don't think he was ever in the top 3, because there are 2 heroes which definitely would fill those spots anyway. If we had All Might there as well, it would definitely be between Best Genius, Endeavor, and then Hawks. So I think he was slightly higher than number 9, but he wasn't ever top 3. That's in the case of Yoroi Musha. So at number 8, we have the laundry hero, Wash, who is in actual fact a washing machine. I was like, now I just feel bad for Ryukyu and Yoroi Musha. You know, they got those awesome designs, awesome quirks. We don't know what Yoroi Musha is, but he's wearing samurai armor, man. I mean, like, come on. And then we got Ryukyu, who's a dragon, and they've been beaten out by a washing machine. I'm just like, bruh. So I feel bad for Ryukyu and Yoroi Musha, but I'd also like to see how powerful Wash is, or whether he's just more of like, whether he's not really a hero that responds to major crises, and he might just be like someone who does the very menial things. But considering he's at rank 8, he's got to be better than that. So at number 7, we have Kamui Woods, someone we've seen from the first chapter, literally the first chapter, and he's done really well for himself. And we get to see Mount Lady's jealousy, which is quite fun to see, seeing as they're on the same team. Also, an interviewer suggested that she may have a romantic relationship with Kamui Woods. Though the way she reacts to his success makes me doubt that. You know, if she was really in a romantic relationship with him being at number 7 would make her feel like good, and like she'd hype him up for being number 7. But then again, she'd also still slightly be jealous at being number 3 compared to his number 7, seeing as they're on the same team and have solved probably a lot of the same cases. So you do kind of feel bad for Mount Lady, but it's fun to see her be jealous. At number 6, we have what looks to be an All Might fanboy. A hero from the Orthodox school. I'm not too sure what that means. Is that a school like UA, or is it just like he's from the Orthodox school of hero thinking? I don't know. Maybe they have like different schools of thought. I don't know. But it's the shield hero, Crust. Now he looks pretty cool. He's got this like rocky looking fist, very Hellboyish, and I don't know. His design just looks pretty cool, and I like him. And he's crying, and he's just there saying "All Might." So I think he's a really hardcore All Might fanboy, definitely. At number 5, we have a dark-skinned hero. I'm not too sure if we've seen many dark-skinned individuals in this manga, but yeah, that's just simply because I can't recall anybody. But yeah, so we have a dark-skinned hero, and her name is it's the bunny hero Miruko, and it's a she, and she's kind of just there, like kind of gloating in her position, but she's also there calling Edgeshot a sissy for joining a team, something he seems to want to keep quiet. He tells her, you know, we're in public, be quiet. So I'm not sure if he was saying that just because he didn't want no beef, or whether he said that because he didn't want people to know he was in a team. Now, I'm not too sure why he wouldn't want people to know he was in a team. But yeah, Miruko looks pretty cool, and I can't wait to see what she can actually do. Once again, she's the bunny hero, so maybe something to do with like leaping abilities. I don't know. It's not going to be reproductive abilities. I hope not. Anyway, that would just be a different type of manga altogether. So, at number 4, we have Edgeshot, the mysterious ninja, who looks edgy as hell, and that's really all you can say about Edgeshot. Every time we see him, it's just like, this dude's edgy, and then that's about it. At number 3, due to his efforts in Camino, we have Best Jeanist, but he's still absent. I assume he's still injured, and he's the fiber hero. We've seen him before, and he's pretty cool, and he stays at number 3. I apologize for the noise. Now, at number 2, we have the winged hero, Hawks. Now he looks pretty cool with like Tracer-esque goggles if you play Overwatch, and black wings, which is something that is pretty, like, if you got black wings, you're automatically pretty cool. You see it in the Natsu no Taizai all the time with the demons, but he looks pretty cool. And he's also the guy who apprenticed Tokoyami, so I can't wait to see what he taught him, or whether he taught him anything at all, but he's got to have taught him something, seeing as he's the number 2 hero. And then we have at number 1, in a new pimped out outfit, we have the flame hero, Endeavor. Now he looks awesome as hell, but what's more important is that he looks focused and ready to push himself ever further. You know, I feel like the old Endeavor would have been gloating and really proud of himself, and like really giving himself a pat on the back for being number 1. But this new Endeavor, the feel he's giving off, the vibe he's giving off, is that he knows that being number 1 isn't what being a hero is all about. I mean, like, yeah, it's essentially like if you rank number 1, you're doing the job right. But being number 1 isn't the sole aim of a hero. His aim is to be the best he can possibly be and to help people as much as he can. And obviously, number 1 is just kind of like a byproduct of that. So it's a good thing to have, but it's not what he's aiming for. So I like how focused he is and how he's ready to push himself even further. That's the vibe he gives me at the end of this chapter. So let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you guys thought of this review. And I'll see you within the next couple of days, because One Punch Man has dropped as well from Manga Stream. I gotta thank Manga Stream, because they've been putting in some major work. I looked this morning at the amount of chapters they just dropped. They dropped like 3, 4, 5 Dragon Ball Super chapters. Then they had a whole bunch of mangas I don't even read, like Haikyuu and all this stuff. And then One Punch Man, they had Shokugeki come out. They had My Hero Academia come out, One Piece come out, and then they had a whole bunch of other things, like I think Black Lagoon and all this stuff. I don't even know what they're about. So major props to Manga Stream and their team. They've been putting in some major work. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in a bit.